Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli.
Juan Soto, you called it.
Yeah.
You called it.
I knew he was going to go to the Mets. He wants to stay. He wanted to stay in New York bad. And it was just a matter of time before the owner.
I'll tell you what, I am so glad that the Red Sox could not afford.
Oh, that was bullcrap.
That would have been horrible.
The teams that went after him that were not the Dodgers, Yankees, or Mets, it was just showing their fans like, oh, we want to, we're trying to go
Absolutely.
after him. We're going to, yeah, right, 15 years.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zapp, my paisan, Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. We have a great show today. We have the
Brooklyn.
We have the royalty of the shows in this freaking country right here in front of us. We've got first of all our good friend Danny Wulkan from Memory Lane Auctions. They have a big auction coming up. There's a couple items that I think I'm going to take a shot at.
You should. He really
Can
should.
you lend me a few bucks?
Yeah, right. How about paying me once?
Oh, whatever.
No, I'm just kidding.
Danny Wulkan from Memory Lane is with us, and we have Brian Copolla and Jimmy Ryan from JP's Rock Solid Promotions, and the newbie, I'm going to call him, Vinny Balisky, who really kind of is like the big kahuna now.
Wow.
Right?
Good.
From Lucky Sports Promotion, Vinny, welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Vinny, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Listen, if we're keeping you awake, you let us know, all right? I mean, no problem. We're just teasing, you know that.
Good to see
All right, we got a lot
you.
to talk about today. I don't know, an announcement went out not too long ago that Vinny and Lucky's, what's it called? It's Lucky's Promotion?
Lucky's Promotion, yep, that's our card business.
All right, so Vinny and Lucky's Promotion, maybe a month ago or so, purchased Brian and Jimmy's business, JP Sports and Rock Solid Promotions. But you guys are kind of all working together in unison, correct? Let's go. I want to go through this so that our viewers and listeners completely understand how this is all going to work. So let's start with, obviously, with you, Vinny. A little background, if you can, on the company, how long you've been in business. And I know you've expanded. Can you just give us a little background?
Sure. I've been in the industry for about 20 years. Growing up, we used to go to the JP shows. I grew up looking at all the dealers, buying cards, flipping them, and seeing the great guests that they brought in. And it was nice to find a way as a fan, growing up, to have access to these great players. They did a phenomenal job carving out that part of the industry for the last 2 decades. And it shows now that they run the National. They're doing a great job there. And again, they're bringing more people to the industry and the hobby, and it's just continuing to grow. We started show business-wise with the Boston show this past year. Again, another show that's been established for about 20 years.
Now, you're talking about the old Rich Altman show, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And we did very well. We had the high for attendance in the last decade.
That's a great show. Great show.
Yep. We brought some players in that hadn't been there before in the area. And we're just trying to do different things and make things exciting, again, for the industry.
Now, Vinny, you have another show, another Boston show coming down the pike. It's going to be the first year, and it's the weekend of June 29th, 27,
Yep.
20, right? And that's going to be also at the Shriners Auditorium, and that's in the middle of June. And by the way, Rick, we're going to be home then. I was talking to Vinny. Maybe we can broadcast a show from there.
Oh, that'd be great.
And it's my birthday, so you can kind of spring for something for me that weekend.
Yeah, I'll give you a pen.
Yeah, okay, appreciate that.
What do you
Anyway, so that's going to be the weekend of June. It's right in the middle of the summer. whatever we can do to help you promote that, because I think that can be a really, really, really positive, good show, because there's not a lot going on at that time of year. I really think that you can do well with that. Now, let's go to Brian and Jimmy. Jimmy, we'll start with you first. So, is your role going to change? Actually, I'll talk to both Brian and Jimmy. Are your roles going to change now with what's going on with the shows that you guys have been running for all these years?
So yeah, the multi-day shows, which is Hofstra, which has been running since 2004, and White Plains since 2005 underneath Brian and my own control here, will now be transferred over to Vinny effective January 17th. It's effective now already, but his first show will be January 17th and 19th at the Westchester County Center. We've been working with him for the last 30 days or so, I guess, transferring over, the assets and dealer lists and working on floor plans, and the transaction's gone seamless so far. It's been the goal is to have a nice seamless transition for the customers and the dealers going forward. We did it for 20 years and let Vinny run it for the next 20 years. That's the ultimate goal. Next 20 years on Vinny's control.
Brian?
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy said it very well. The goal is to back to the seamless. We don't want the customers to have any impact or perceptions, or how this hobby chatters.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we're going to mitigate, is just by us being there in unison with Vinny and walking through the dealers and say hello to customers and goodbye and so on and so forth. The whole goal is for Vinny to extend and for us to fade away. And that's what we have scripted.
Yeah.
Danny.
Congratulations to both of you guys. All you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know Jimmy, forever.
Yeah.
I lived in Long Island, and there's never been another promoter, in my opinion, and I'm being serious about this, that just is so seamless and so, kind and getting things, from A to Z. And there's never been one hiccup, where we've had it other shows, but there's never been one hiccup. So it's always gone seamless.
Dan, if I could just throw something out here, in the past, I know when Joe was with the company, you and Joe would be out here for. You guys were out here for the Boston show.
Yeah.
2 Boston shows.
Shriners and Altman.
Yeah. So hopefully we're going to see you there in April. But we're going to try to get your ass out here in June also, because I think that's going to be a really good show. I know you guys have been regulars there. Hey, Danny, we're going to tie this all in together. You have an auction coming up, a Blockbuster auction. Opens up December 18th. Is it the 18th?
The 15th.
15th.
Opens up the 15th. You know what? Actually, I think we changed it. But yeah, it opens up mid-December, and it's got some insane items in there. We have a real high-end PSA 8 single sign Ruth ball. The ball's an 8, the auto's an 8. Some incredible 33 and 34 Gaudy cards. We've got 3 of the Babe Ruth cards in PSA 8s. We've got both of the Gehrig cards. The imagery of those cards is so incredible. Those are also in PSA 8s. We're breaking a 1915 Cracker Jack set.
Complete set?
Complete set from PSA 5s to PSA 8s.
Wow.
Insane. The Jackson is a 7.
Wait, is it a 15 or a 14?
15.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to know this one thing. Ruby slippers?
Oh, yeah.
The Ruby slippers?
Heritage. So you don't know this. What do you got? I want to get your thoughts on that, Dan. And the 3 of you guys.
Who's going to buy the Ruby slippers? A woman?
No, they're such an iconic piece of memorabilia, and they were
$2
stolen.
million they sold them for.
They were stolen, and the FBI recovered them and got them back to the guy. And I thought they were going to go for between $2 and $4 million.
Do we know who? Do you have do you guys have an idea as to who may have bought those? Dan, you may already know, but
it was a lady named Dorothy.
I
don't know.
The Munchkin, one of the Munchkins.
I have an idea. I have an idea as to who bought that.
Yeah,
I really do. I'm serious,
right.
and I think that it's a big time collector who has got plenty of dough, obviously, and I could be wrong. And he was in that industry at one time. That's all.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
saying.
that was a great take that Madalena got those, for Heritage. That was as a consignment. That incredible,
32
incredible.
million bucks.
For what?
They paid for this for the
They
slippers.
sold. They sold.
They sold
Wait a minute. Time out. $32 million for the ruby
for the ruby
slippers?
slippers
Yeah.
from the Wizard of Oz.
Holy-
Yeah, Tom, that was a great purchase you made.
Thank
That
you.
was a-
Thank you.
No, I mean, geez.
Forget it. Forget it.
The Wizard of Oz. It's been on TV every day. Every day.
Yeah.
Hey,
Here's a made.
I like it.
question for Vinny. Vinny, are you a collector?
Oh yeah, big time.
What do you collect?
Everything. Cards, memorabilia. The one thing I said a few years ago to my wife is the day I stop collecting is the day I get out of the industry.
Really?
I think that helps fuel a lot of the bad stuff in the hobby, right? It gets you past it.
You know,
and I
it's-
enjoy it definitely. When we bring a guest in,
Yeah.
we get a piece signed for ourselves. When I have time, I walk to shows. We buy a whole bunch of stuff. I love it.
Well, you guys, I mean,
always
Jimmy,
have.
you guys are Jimmy and Brian, you guys have been collectors for 100 years too, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
What do you,
Well,
Jimmy, what do you
guys-
collect?
I like the pre-war items. The 15 Cracker Jacks got me perked up there, Dan. I'm about 40 cards short of a set. And
Oh my God.
There we go, Danny.
PSA 5s and better. So
Oh my God. Tom, you know what's incredible about that set? And I'm more in the 50s, 60s, 70s, not a ton of pre-war.
Yep.
But I learned, 14s are the ones that were in the Cracker Jack boxes,
Right.
where 15s weren't.
Correct.
You had to send away for them.
35 cents.
Yeah, which is incredible. And what people probably don't know is that when they're encapsulated, obviously they're graded by PSA. If you were to take that card out of PSA, it's as flimsy as a piece of
correct.
paper,
Yeah.
like printer paper. So
Yeah.
but they're so beautiful. They're it's art.
It's
art.
funny when
Yeah.
when Mallory is not here today, but when JM and I and Ellen and Joe Orlando, when we wrote the Cracker Jack book,
Yeah.
we Ellen and I were there's a woman, I can't remember her last name. Her last name was Joyce, Joyce.
Pat, wasn't it?
No. But she had the largest collection of Cracker Jack memorabilia in the world. Part of her house was a museum. So she invited Ellen and I, she lived up in northern Florida, she invited us into her home with our photographer, and we took some great images that are in the book of some of the items that she had. She had an amazing collection of 1914 Cracker Jack cards, including the Matheson. And it's still in her family. I mean, they won't part with it. But she had some amazing stuff, original Cracker Jack boxes that were unopened, things like that.
Maybe,
Just
maybe.
crazy
Yeah,
stuff,
things that-
crazy stuff.
I want to
Can you
ask Vinny.
confirm her home address?
She's passed on, by the way.
I'm sorry. That's great. That's
Vinny, you like the Mets, and they just signed Soto, so you must be very happy. But I want to ask you, do you have a lot of Mets memorabilia? Because they're great years.
Who owns Mets memorabilia?
What do
Vinny, you
mean?
don't have Mets
fans.
memorabilia, do you?
Cards.
Quite a bit.
I was going to say, are you kidding me?
How about Billy Buckner's
stuff.
glove? You got that?
Billy Buckner?
Yeah,
Hey,
that'd be great.
Don't say that. The guy was a hell of a player.
No, he was good. He was very good.
But
I want to talk to Brian. Quick question regarding what's going to happen to Brian and Jimmy after the show. I know we're not going to talk about the National, but are you guys basically going to focus on the National?
Yeah, that's a big thing. We wanted to clear our plates to solely focus on that. It's the right thing to do, and it's just time. We had a 20-year run in New York, which was wonderful, and it's the right thing to do. Aside from that, well, Jimmy can speak for himself, but we're going to stay busy buying and selling autographs and sports cards, and like we always have. We've been doing that even preceding the National and our original shows. So we're going to go back to that format too, and just enjoy the hobby.
Good for you.
yeah,
man.
that's great.
Vinny, your next show is in January, right? 17th?
17 to 19.
Is it a big show? How many tables? Do you know?
Just about 400 tables.
Perfect.
Nice.
25 autograph guests.
Wow.
The one thing that we're continuing that JP's did a great job in is every the Saturday and the Sunday, there's a free autograph guest with paid admission.
By the
So
way,
everybody gets to leave with something just for showing up.
By the way,
that's
I got a guy here that is very popular signing. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Keep that in the back of your mind. For Boston.
We had him this past year. We had him at Fenway Park.
Oh, that's right. You were at the Fenway show.
That
was his.
Oh, Costa.
Yeah, he worked with Chris. With Chris
okay.
Costa.
Yeah.
He
Chris,
handled the.
Chris,
He handled the.
Yeah, I remember. That was a good
the
show.
autograph.
A very good show. It was nice.
Yeah, I didn't get anything out of that.
No, it's my agent. Hey,
Yeah, I'm your agent, all
8
right.
years, nothing, not a one thing. But
We'll try to change that.
All right, really.
thanks,
We're chatting with Brian Copolla, Jimmy Ryan, Danny Wulkan, and Vinny Balisky. I love that name, Vinny Balisky. Vinny, before we take a break, you have any other thoughts about expanding even further, like maybe heading south, like towards Florida or any of those areas?
There's been some thoughts. Nothing set in stone. Right now, we have to focus on what we just acquired. We don't want to ruin that. Like they said, they did a phenomenal job for 20 years. That needs to be the focus right now. That, Boston, and once we get that under our belt, we could always look for something in the future.
Yeah,
but right now, we got to make sure the vendors and the customers are happy here first.
Just keep this in the back of your mind. We're down in Florida for the winter. I'm in the Palm Beach area, and there's been 3 or 4 times where they've attempted to do a card show, but they just can't get it right, to be honest with you. And there's a ton of collectors there, but there's for whatever reason they've had it a couple of different venues. That area is really ripe for a great show, especially. We're
East Coast,
5 minutes away from 2 major ballparks down there, where the Cardinals, the Marlins, Cardinals, and then the other
Red Sox, the
Houston
West
Astros,
Coast,
Washington Nationals.
and
They
the
all
West Coast
within
has a
5
ton of
miles from there.
teams.
Just
The West
huge.
Coast has been doing pretty good. Over in Sarasota, they have a couple of card shows. I think Brian Deck does a.
You're kidding. That's where I go.
Yeah, Sarasota, they have a couple shows a year.
Interesting. All right, we're going to take
The Orioles are
in there.
Yeah, the Orioles in Sarasota, because the Red Sox are in Fort Myers. But anyway,
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. We're going to come back with a Gax blast from the past, and then I want to get into the specific shows with Brian and Jimmy, and talk to Dan and Vinny. Hang in there. We're going to be right back.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Curry, a 2-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Hi, everyone. This is Rico Petrocelli. JustCollect.com, a leader in the vintage sports card industry, is giving free appraisals on your vintage cards. They'll evaluate your collection for free and let you know the value of it at no cost and no obligation. If you're ready to sell, JustCollect.com will offer you industry-leading prices to buy your card collection. To begin your free baseball card appraisal, visit JustCollect.com or call them at 732-828-2261. That's JustCollect.com for your free vintage card appraisals and top buy prices for your cards. Check out JustCollect.com today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
You know something? Can you get with it?
Listen, I got.
Yeah. We can't hear you.
Well, no, I understand that. Can you hear me now?
No.
Oh. No, when we take a break, I like to walk around and then, take these off as much as possible. Then
You're such a liar. You hit the donuts.
I did not. That's a lie.
You're so full of crap.
Come on.
All right. It is time right now for our Gax Blast from the Past, brought to us by our good friend Paul Borges and PB Collectibles, your neighborhood card shop. Go to pbcollectibles.com to find that special card or piece of memorabilia. This week's Gax, I tell you what, Rico and I have very strong feelings, as do many people in baseball fans in the Boston area, about our good friend Louis Tiant, who recently passed away.
Yeah.
I personally think that Louis got screwed again, and that Louis Tiant should be in the Hall of Fame.
I believe that years ago.
I know that.
We used to talk about it all the time.
Well,
by the way, the discussions on the Hall of Fame, once they pick the names and all that, is always great when in talk shows, sports talk shows and all that stuff. Louis Tiant, it would be great for his family.
But I want you to watch this.
Well, no,
this is
I
a
was
piece.
gonna say,
This is a piece that Louis did last year, I believe.
Yeah.
With Dennis Eckersley, a couple of other guys, and his feelings about getting into the Hall of Fame.
Looking at some guys, this guy should be in the Hall of Fame. I've been saying it a long time. There are guys in the Hall of Fame without the numbers. More wins, more strikeouts, more complete games, more shutouts than Bunning and Hunter, and both are in the Hall of Fame.
And to me, it's an absolute shame. You know, I mean, it really is. And I'm there, Louis, and I know a lot of guys there that wish that you were there, and you should be. And hopefully, the next time it comes up, you will be.
So, you know what I'm gonna have to do? I might have to move into Alaska. maybe they'll put me in the Hall of Fame. You know, I'm crazy. I don't like talking much in the bay. I don't want to put anybody down, point finger to nobody. But I think to me that's disgrace what they do, because you're gonna tell me I have 20 pitches in the Hall of Fame. I have a better record than them. Right. And the one that have a better record than me, they only maybe 5 or 7 games, but I have everything better than them. How that happened? How they there and I not? You see, I don't understand.
Well, if the players are voting, it would be a different thing. I mean, as simple as that. I mean,
I really don't understand that. That's crazy, you know. And then I know people talk. You guys now doing these things, and I know a lot of you guys, like you my buddy for years. He, my boy, I know you for a long time. And when people tell you every day you should be in the Hall of Fame, you say, no. But you know one thing, what I said, I don't want it, they put me after I die. Because I told my wife already, and I tell my family, my kid, if they put me after I die, don't go.
Yeah. Right.
Don't go. Don't show up.
Nothing changes
Don't
between
show
now
up.
and then. Do it now. I want to pick one quick bone with you. You say he's your buddy, he's your boy. I've known you a long time. That's because I hang around with Jim Rice too long. That's what it is. Jim Rice's guy.
Hey, is your ex-wife's dad his dentist?
No, that's not.
Okay, then. Mine
You're
is.
his buddy. You're his boy.
All right, so the point here is that Louis, a year ago, or a little over a year ago, basically said, and he said, if I get in, he talked to his family, he says, I don't want you to even go if I get in after I die. Unfortunately, well, I don't know.
He passed away, but I think he's 2 sons, daughter, grandkids, and all. It would have been great for them. Well, you know, been proud. What I hope the Red Sox do is do some sort of an Tiant award or some memorial thing, you know, to keep his name out there, because he was great, not only a great pitcher, but a terrific guy, funny. I'm telling you, he was.
I mean,
great.
you had some great years with him.
Oh man, I had so much fun when I used to go when the manager would come out and Tiant's there.
Who was the manager at the time?
Well, especially
McNamara.
No, 75.
I know. I can't remember.
Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Johnson would come out, you know, and Louis and I run up there. I said, I got to hear this, because you see how Louis talks. Yeah, when he gets excited, he's. Hey, man, you can't understand. I said, you've been in the country 40, 50 years. You still can't understand. But he's a wonderful guy. I mean, he wouldn't come out of games. He'd tell the manager, no, come out. No, come out.
So the manager would come to yank him.
Yeah, he'd say, no. Listen, God dang, I want to finish. And the manager would go, okay.
And walk off the field.
And walk off. Boom.
He deserves that award. You're right, Rico. I mean, and that would be great for Cuba. I mean, that would really, it would amp up, you know, to give some like the Louis Tiant Award. Absolutely. I mean, the guy had over 220 wins, 3.3 ERA.
What do you have? A 1 point? He had a 1.60, 1.6 when he pitched for Cleveland.
But you know, man, he had complete games. Unbelievable. I don't know. 200 or something like that. It was just incredible.
Yeah, almost
he was tough. He was a great pitcher.
No, he was a great pitcher. He was a great guy.
When he gave up a home run center field, he yelling on the mound, "Go foul! Go foul!" Great guy.
Except you never liked the El Tiante cigars.
Don't start.
Rico, I mean, Louis came out with a line of cigars.
First time.
So he had Rico try. He had Rico try them. What'd you say to him?
When he came back, he says, how would they like? How you like your cigar? I said, Louis, I've never tasted horse manure, but he says if they stink. He says, God damn! He called me salami. Salami, don't say nothing. Don't tell nobody. I said,
Hey, Tom.
I'm not going to tell anybody.
Yeah, Danny.
I wanted to ask Vinny on the guys that are coming in to sign for the show, the next show. If you want to just highlight some of the, if you're allowed to talk about it now.
For January or for?
Well, let's talk the January show first.
Yeah.
So the guy I've been most requested for the last 2 to 3 years to come get was Keith Hernandez. I'm happy to say he's going to do it. He's kind of turned a sour cheek on the public signings since getting his number retired, but I'm happy to say he's coming. Darryl Strawberry, Lawrence Taylor, John Smoltz.
Oh, you got a nice lineup.
And then some other guys that have never been to the area. John Taylor, the old 49er. Clinton Portis, who was Rookie of the Year. Dontrell Willis, who's another baseball Rookie of the Year who never does signings. Some guys that my generation grew up with, like when Dontrell Willis was a rookie, I remember being in school, running home to go watch him pitch his rookie year.
Yeah.
That big leg kick. And to my knowledge, I don't think he's done a public signing in the last decade.
Man, he had a hell of a delivery. Remember his delivery?
Oh yeah. He was
crazy.
Good pitch.
Now, what about the April show?
I can't say anything just yet, but it's going to be big.
Really?
We got a couple of we got a nice theme going for the Saturday day. I'm just waiting on the last guy to sign his contract. He agreed to come. Once that's done, it's probably going to be the biggest group to go to a show in Boston.
You know, it's the only thing is we're still in Florida for that show. That show's in the middle of April, April 15th. When is that?
April 11th to 13th.
Yeah, we're still in Florida.
Vinny, I want to. You're a collector. What is your favorite item, or not most expensive? You know what I mean. But your favorite.
When I was a kid, I was about 13 years old. I bought 1 pack of basketball cards. I drove I rode my bike an hour to the store to get it. And I pulled a dual number 1 of 23 autograph of Michael Jordan, LeBron James.
Oh, wow. Wow. Nice. That's a home run.
First time I ever saw either of their signatures.
Jeez.
And guy in the shop offered me $500 for it. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. Kept pressuring me. I put the card in my pocket and rode my bike an hour home. So that card's a little beat up.
But you still have it, right?
That's probably my favorite piece I own.
I'll give you $600 for it.
Nice, Dan.
Or 10,000, whatever you want.
That's funny. So Brian and Jimmy, obviously you guys are kind of fading into the sunset with your shows. Well, no, I'm talking about with JP's. Are you taking?
They're still alive.
Is JP's? Is the name JP going to go by the wayside, and it's going to all become Lucky's, or are you going to keep the name separate?
Well, our business, JPRS, JP Sports Rock Soft Promotion, is still going to be running. We are going to do, as Brian expressed earlier, we're going to do our baseball card business, our memorabilia business. We're keeping the local shows, which run on Long Island. They're the one-day shows. They're the old-fashioned 50, 60 table shows. Back when I met Dan 30-some years ago. They're still going on, Dan. They're still well-attended.
Oh, my God.
Fun. It's like a day in the office for everybody. Everybody goes there and has a good old-fashioned time, you know.
Oh, it's awesome.
500, 600, 700 people walking through the door, and it's a fun day. Those are still,
nice.
So, as Brian stressed on, the reason why we relinquished the multi-day shows is just a lot. It's a lot of work going to the multi-day. Everybody shows up and goes, "Hey, the light switch is on. The show's ready to run." It's months worth of work going into every show that people don't see behind the scenes.
I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask Vinny this question. Vinny, are you concerned? And I know we've talked about it, Brian and Jimmy and Joe Drellick. We've talked about it on the air. Are you concerned about what's happening at some of the shows with security? Do you have a concern about that?
Of course, yeah. I'm happy to say that we have some of the best security team for our shows. They're all top notch. They both our main two guys both work with the National. They've experienced these shows for a long time. They've been in the industry a long time. They know who and what to look for. And I mean, we feel really good about our security presence moving in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's real important, especially since, what's happened in the hobby. And, it's amazing. I mean, we just talked about $32 million shoes, but, when you talk about cards and memorabilia, it's amazing.
Yeah, unfortunately, when something happens, then we all, we put more security.
Yeah, but I mean,
it happens. It happens.
I mean, and
crooks out
to your
there.
credit, to Jimmy and to Brian and to Joe, I mean, there was no ripples this year at the National that I heard of, that anything of significance. Danny, what about you guys? When you guys do a show, and I know you guys do a ton of shows, do you do anything extra, or you just work with whoever's running the show?
We work with the people that are running the show. I mean, we had that issue with the package, the $2.2 million package that went missing. Thank God we got the cards back. We're out 2 of the cards right now.
And and that really didn't happen. I mean, that didn't happen at the show. You know what I mean?
No, it was an inside job in the hotel.
Right.
And that was working with FBI and all the feds and stuff. It was just orchestrating that whole thing. I had to friend a couple of the guys at the hotel and kind of just, hey, you're my buddy, you're my best friend. I had, a couple people turn a little bit and help out, but it was pretty intense. And then then you see the guy in Dallas, Ash, who had, 3 million, that was just a weird situation. So, I think because our industry's blown up so much and, when COVID hit and it just went through the roof, people are becoming more aware of value, and where there's money to be made, there's going to be fraud to be had. And you just have to, be more. We would be on planes opening, like doing work and looking at our cards and people, oh, hey, you're still playing with your baseball cards? Yeah, sure. Still playing with our baseball cards, selling 10 times more than what you make. But anyway,
I know, really.
It just, now people are much more aware. And with all these guys in these breaker rooms and everything, and it's the hype has just blown up. It's worldwide.
It's amazing. Brian, you guys really have done a pretty good job with that whole thing, with the whole security thing. Again, I know we're not going to talk about the National, but even with your shows that you guys have been doing for the last 20 years, you've had pretty good luck, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple ripples, over the years. I think there's a small percentage of just it's reality,
right?
That you're going to have
anywhere,
some, level of anywhere. But credit to all the staff that came through. We've always hired off-duty police officers, and they're out there in plain clothes, and they're a part of our team, and they know the drill. And they know, where the problems are and the exits. And, we've been through camera systems and, we've shut down people. We've chased them down the street. I mean, there's been just a host of, different situations. But again, to Dan's point, the brighter the industry gets, the more of it we got to deal with. And one day technology is going to get there where, the centers are just going to have a global camera system in place. I'm sure some newer ones do, but again, is at some point. I mean, there's cameras everywhere nowadays, so it's not wise to try to do something.
So there's another show, Tom, that I'm not going to say what the show is but there are security guards that are now looking under people's tables right as people are leaving because they caught someone under a table staying there, so when everybody was out that they could case the joint. So, and this is recent. So now they have to check under tables to make sure. It's insane.
I mean, again, I think
because it's so successful.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that if you look at the overall picture, though, it's pretty good. I mean, overall, because if you look at, you look at everything else, all this other tech, all these other industries.
Diamond industry.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It is absolutely crazy.
I want to ask all of you, not to get, but the politics, not to get into politics, but is there concern or feeling good, or does it matter, with a new regime coming in?
That's a good question.
Or politics in general? In other words, the economy is involved in that too. So is there any concern or any happiness? I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
Now,
So,
I'm not talking about who you voted for or anything like that.
you're talking about the economics.
The economics of the industry.
Let's start with Vinny. Vinny, I don't care what your political,
we're not talking politics.
which way you lean, but do you have a good feeling about the 2025 for the hobby?
I do. I think that there's a lot of new blood getting in the industry. I think that there's a lot of excitement over a lot of things. If you look at the National in Cleveland, everybody didn't think that was going to be a good center. I couldn't move. I mean, we were set up as a vendor, and it was one of my best shows that we've done. It's the only show that we set up at as vendors, and just that turnout makes me think, and other places we've been, just the places are packed.
Yeah.
I think it's all going to be trending in the right direction.
Brian, you feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We're watching stuff over here through the holidays as we sell autographs when we're not doing shows and the National and stuff, and packages are flying. So that's always a good sign. I didn't see any ripples.
Awesome.
So that's a good sign, yeah.
All right, we are chatting with the guys, Brian Copolla, Jimmy Ryan, Vinny Balisky, Danny Wulkan. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, On Deck with Rico, and then I have some questions regarding technology in this hobby and the explosion of technology. Hang in there. We're going to be right back.
Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on the tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
Yeah, the best thing to do is go to petrosellimkt.com. That's the website. You can check all the products out and do. The kid does embroidery. They do
embroidery.
Embroidery. You know, embroidery and the hats and stuff.
Okay.
And the other thing, screen printing.
Yeah, Danny,
beautiful job,
Dan,
fella.
I want to clarify something here.
Come on.
All right. Now, Petroselli Marketing, they have Petroselli Marketing pens. Okay. A pen. Now, Dan, I don't know if you recognize this. This is the pen that I've been using for 1 year. And this is a Memory Lane Auctions pen that is a beautiful piece of equipment.
Yeah, you got
right?
You got it.
Do you think that Mr. Petroselli, the cheap bastard that he is, would ever give me a freaking pen? Nothing. Zero, zilch.
I promise you on your birthday, right?
I didn't get one.
No, you're going to get one this year.
Thank you. Great.
Really.
How about our good friends at the Philly Show?
Yeah. East Coast Sports Marketing and Hunt Auctions are pleased to present the Philadelphia Sports Collectors Show, the Philly Show. from Friday, December 13th to Sunday, December 15th, held at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center, Hall B, 100 Station Avenue, Oaks, Pennsylvania, 19456. You got it?
So far, I'm impressed.
Shop over 300 of your favorite hobby dealer booths on over 100,000 square feet of sports collectibles heaven from the 1800s to present day.
I'm not going to say a word.
You know what he does?
No, I'm not saying a word.
Major sports auction houses and third-party grading and authentication companies are on hand to assist your collecting needs. The Philly Show is family-friendly, and all kids 12 and under get in for free. Autograph guests to include, Dr. J, Julius Erving, he was my favorite. Tim Raines, Bartolo Colon, he's older than me. 10 of the Broad Street Bullies, Stanley Cup champions, 2-time Super Bowl champ, LaShawn McCoy, and many more. For more information, go to thephillyshow.com. Remember, since 1975, and that was a special year for the Red Sox, the Philly Show is where it all started.
Yeah, that was a special year. The year they blew another World Series.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Well, just saying.
All right.
Hey, I tell it like it is.
I know.
Should have won. You didn't win. I don't want to hear it.
Not my fault.
Well, you were part of the team. I don't want to hear it.
Joe Yankees.
Just saying. Hey, I want to talk to you guys about the explosion. I'm going to start with you, Vinny. The explosion of technology. Oh, right. I forgot. Before we talk about technology, it is time for our segment, On Deck with Rico.
I'll be fast.
No, go ahead.
No.
Last week I do it. I get a hard time. Today I don't do it.
Go ahead.
All right, here you go.
What a voice, huh?
I can just do it.
No.
You want the children?
I want
Fine.
the children.
You want the children.
Your questions answered on deck with Rito Patricelli.
I could have done it just as cute.
All right, it's time for our segment On Deck with Rico, brought to us by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service.
Yeah.
This week's question was submitted by Richard Gilmet.
Doesn't it sound like the voice sound like a woman doing a child's voice?
No, it's a kid.
Oh, okay.
Rich Gilmet. Rico, did you prepare for home games the same way all of the time? In other words, did you have a ritual? And in other words, and also getting to the ballpark at the same time, dinner or supper, superstitions?
No superstitions. I had no superstitions.
So did you have the same ritual, though, when you go to the ballpark?
At home, we would eat like 1:30, a good meal. Like that would be the dinner. On the road, sometimes we'd had a full meal before, but a lot of times we got to the ballpark early and then ate afterwards, if places were open. Some cities, there's not many places open, so sometimes you get a fast food.
And by the way, chime in, guys.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because everybody was, not everybody, but a lot of the guys were different.
What time would you get to the ballpark for a day game?
A day game?
For a day game.
Oh, let's see. Say a 1 o'clock game or 2 o'clock game would be probably 11:30. I get 2.5 hours, get all set up,
2.5 hours, that's an hour and a half.
What do you mean it's an hour and a
The
half?
game started at 1, you got there at 11:30, it's an hour and a half.
No, 11.
11.
2 o'clock. 11:30. You got to
2
keep
o'clock.
Tom in
2
check.
o'clock. That's right.
Exactly.
Thank you.
What about a night game?
Night game, we would get there about, the bus would leave if you wanted to take the bus at 2.5 hours before the game.
No, I'm talking about a home game.
Oh, yeah, I just said a couple hours. At a night game, we'd get there and eat at 2, let's say, good meal, even at 3 sometimes, and then get to the ballpark.
So they wouldn't feed you. You would eat at home?
Yeah.
Did Elsie cook you like a steak?
Yeah, I would have a lot of steaks and, protein type of stuff. Stay away from the pasta and all that.
Now, what about after the game? Did they have a spread for you guys?
Yeah, a lot of later, about the middle of my career, the clubhouse guys started to have spreads, and some of the Minnesota was the best, boy. He started out, he had everything. His wife cooked everything. We had delicious stuff. I'll tell you, it was great.
Oh, God.
And we might give him a tip, too, at the end.
Really?
You better, or else you get nothing.
I could picture Tion stuffing stuff in his pockets.
No. It was we had one of the relief pitchers. You have to race him to the place.
Really? Who was it?
What's his name? Shoot.
Reggie Cleveland?
No, it's relief pitcher, Latin kid. Forget it. Hey,
not the kid that went off the deep end.
No.
Salmonella, really. All right, listen, I want to talk about technology. Vinny, I want to start with you. The explosion of technology with the various shows has been incredible. I mean, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, you went to a card show, there were card dealers, there were auction houses. Now, I mean, I walk into the National, or else I walk to a show, and there are setups that I'm trying to still figure out what they're all about. And they're all successful. What is your thoughts on the whole technology part of what's happening in the hobby?
I mean, it's evolutionizing some things. To each their own, right? Some people are old school. They don't like it. A lot of people see it as growth. I think it's good overall. It brings in the newer segment of the collectors. There's a lot of interesting things people are doing now.
Brian?
Well, you're talking about the setups?
Well, here's an example. There. Brian, at the National, we broadcasted, this is funny. Yeah, it's not funny, but we broadcasted from the main stage. It was called the What Not stage, correct?
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. Rico and I walked on the stage. I asked him, I said, what the hell is What Not? You know, I mean, I had no idea. And then when it was explained to me, I said, wow, phenomenal concept.
Yeah, a whole new online world.
Yeah,
you know, it just in a different facet. I mean, the power of the internet and the power of creativity and the power of desire of sports cards and making money, and you put all that together with some entrepreneurs, and you know, you get everything in every different way. And it's a whole new. I mean, listen, we left the traditional sense of, you know, $20 card on a table, and I'm the only person that has this card. We're so far down the road, and I mean, it's good.
Jimmy, you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think Brian summed it up well there. I mean, it's going to be part of our future. You're not going to. It's the way the world's going. I mean, every building you look at now is going to have more tech. Going to be able to have to handle more technology going forward. Where the shows are going to run. And the show is going to have to keep revamping up to handle this new technology going forward.
I'm a marketing guy, and is most of your marketing online, you know, on the web or your website, you know, social media? Do you do that? I mean, you don't. Well, I don't know if you don't use newspapers. That's the question.
Well, yeah. In the old days when we first started Hofstra, which is back in, you know, 2004, everything was paper advertising then. It was getting out to all the catalogs, all the newspapers.
Yeah.
And I one time, just one quick story, I had this dream about running an all-in-one show. Let's get the comic books, let's get the cards, let's get the stamps, let's get the coins. Then I went out and I priced all the avenues to do all this advertising, and I said, wow, we can't run a show. Can't generate money to do this. Yeah. Now, technology, the advertising has gotten so much cheaper. It can be funneled through, and actually, you reach more people, and it's much cheaper. So technology has improved that part of the business. That part of the show business has been improved big time going forward for advertising.
Danny, I'm going to ask you this question. You guys have a magnificent catalog, and not just you, but you know, Brian Dwyer.
No, just us. Just us.
Okay. Yeah. Do you guys use AI when you do your writing?
I can't tell you that we do. I can't tell you that we don't. Okay. That's information on a need-to-know basis. But, you know, I wanted to back up actually on adjusting to
Oh, man, what a cop-out that was. That was such a cop-out.
I'll circle back around. But the technology, you know, I was taught by my stepfather, stay in your lane, stick with what you know. Okay. And then I realized that, well, you can also adjust to what's happening in the industry, where we do sell a handful of real high-end modern cards in the auction. And I think it's adjusting to, you know, the new things that are coming into the hobby, like Vinny said, the how it's evolutionized, how, you know, you just have to adjust to what's going on. And, you know, there's so much opportunity, you know, with what people are, selling these days. And you have to learn it. You have to learn it because you have to be there for your customers.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. As I think, a perfect example. You're a vintage guy, Dan, and I mean with the big influx of what's happened over the last couple of years with influencers and the modern and ultra modern card market. I mean, it's going to pass you by if you don't learn about that segment of the hobby. I think it's real important.
Yeah. And also what Rico said about, you guys were asking about politics. Whoever's the president, to me, and I'm not a fan of politics because it's all about conflict, and I'm not a fan of conflict. But I don't think politics even has a bearing of our economy. Our economy has been up and down and cyclical within a 6-year period, every 6 years, whatever. I don't think the politics have, aired towards like changing our economy. If someone wants a card, they're probably going to buy the card before they pay their mortgage. I mean, it's a legal, it's like a drug to people that it's a passion. They love it. And if it's rare stuff that they're buying, they're going to find a way to buy it. And our hobby, our industry is thriving. I mean,
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't
look
agree
at what
more.
Fanatics is being valued at in the multi tens of billions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more.
About that.
It's a great hobby, but it's
unbelievable.
We're blessed.
We got about 2 minutes left. Just a programming note. We're going to be launching a new segment after the first of the year that I think everybody's going to really think is cool. We've been working. I think the reason I asked you a question about AI, Dan, is we've been working with an AI expert out of California, and I can throw a little tease out. We're going to. It's going to be. Well, I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be called, but we're going to be over a period of 15 weeks, and we're going to talk about it next week more. We are going to
He told me not to say anything.
No, because I wanted to just, it's going to be, what we're doing basically is we're taking the Sweet 16 of the 16 greatest baseball teams that ever existed. And we're going to be having a tournament with an elimination tournament broken down by who wins, inning by inning, a breakdown every week of the games. So the 16 seed is going to be playing the first seed on week 1. And then the next week we're going to talk about the results. It's a fun thing. I know a lot of people really understand what AI is all about, but millions and millions of bits of information were thrown into this thing. This guy's an expert. And quite honestly, Rico and I saw the list, and there's only one team that we didn't agree with. Yeah. That is not in the top 16.
What about top players? Why don't you
we can do that later
There's
on.
a lot of stuff we can do.
But anyways, we're just about out of time.
Hey,
Vinny,
Tom?
Yes.
Real quick, you guys all have to check this out. I saw this on the news yesterday. The guys that do ChatGPT, there's a new app called Sora, S-O-R-A, and I want to pull it up and read about it. You can literally tell this app that you want to ship to be inside a coffee cup, and then they will literally build a video. You could say like, hey, I want Babe Ruth to be running the bases for 20 times. I mean, and they will insert Ruth running inside the bases until you tell them to stop.
Wow.
Crazy.
It's amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's great.
All right, guys, we're just about out of time. Vinny, welcome aboard.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, guys.
We wish you nothing but the best.
Terrific.
Going forward with the shows. Brian and Jimmy,
great.
we're going to be talking a lot with you guys over the up until the National. And by the way, I know you don't want to say it, you don't want to mention the National, but tickets are on sale for the National, correct?
They are. Yes. They went on sale a week ago. A week ago yesterday went on sale. They're currently on sale now.
Yeah, we thought we'd throw that out. Danny, December 15th?
Yes.
And it ends January what?
11th.
Okay. Do not accept any bids, I repeat, for the Christy Mathewson contract. Do not accept any bids. I'm asking you as a personal favor.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
With that being said, guys, thank you so much.
Guys.
Have a great holiday.
Guys. Thanks a lot.
Great holiday.
Yes.
Rico,
Merry Christmas.
I'll see you the week after next.
Yeah.
Week after next.
I hope.
Yeah. And with that
I like
being
your
said,
hair, Rico. It looks good.
yeah, it looks real good.
Moss.
With that being said, happy
Got a
collecting.
little.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.